Okay, so today we will discuss about the ref and out keyword in C sharp. So how basically it works. Like you can see on the screen, ref and out both keywords are used to pass by reference. Okay, but the differences between them are like ref keyword basically is used when you have to pass the value as well as reference of that variable. In that case, we go for the ref. However, in out keyword, basically you just pass the reference but you don't pass the value. We will say it practically. So currently you see we have we have taken one value variable. Actually this is the value type variable. So it is of integer type variable. Okay, now here we are printing the value inside that. So of course it will print 12 here. After that we are calling a method called change number. So if you we go inside that, like if you see the definition, what we have done, we have one input parameter of reference type. So whatever the value that is coming here, basically since we are passing it with the ref keyword, so in a ref we know value as well as reference both are getting passed. So first name will have the value exactly same that we are passing from here, which is nothing but 12. Along with that their addresses references also we are passing. So finally first num will have the address of the or a variable also. So here when we are saying first name plus 5, so first name already has value 12, and in that we are putting modification, we are adding 5 in that. So the new value will be 17. Now the values got modified, and after get modified the value will again store at the same memory address, and which is being pointed by first num. And in fact this variable is also pointing to the same address which was pointed by value. Means whatever the memory address was there which was pointed by this, same is getting pointed by this also, and both are manipulating the value at same address. That's why even after executing this one, whatever the modification that we have done here will start reflecting here also. And now after doing this you will find like the new value of this value variable is 12 plus 5, that is 17. So this is called pass by reference, where values are getting changed. Whatever the change that you are doing in the local method will eventually start reflecting in the caller method also. So here the method who is calling is called caller. So main method is acting like a caller method, and the method who is getting called like change number, so this method is the callee method, this is getting called. Now here even though it seems like this is modifying the values locally, but since this is passed by reference, hence the value will even start reflecting in main method also. Let's quickly execute it in debug mode and try to understand. So here you will find like control came here, we'll say F10 values is initialized to 12, and simply we are printing. So if I hover on this, you will say value is set to 12, which is as expected. Now we are passing this with ref keyword. It means ref indicates like value we are passing with ref, means value as well as their address or their references both are getting passed. Okay, so finally, we will be able to access the value of this variable 12 in this method, as well as their reference also, address also. I will say F11, and here you can see we have the value of first name is 12. On that, we are putting the modification. So first name plus 5, that is 12 plus 5 is 17. And finally, whatever the changes that is happening here after modification, the same result will store at the same memory address which is being pointed by first name. And we know in ref address as well as values both are passed. So same address, I mean at the same address values were modified. So now even if I hover on the value variable, you will see the same is reflecting here in this caller method as well. So this is how basically it works. Also the second point, like see if I print, so earlier that time while I printed this message like value, that time the value was 12, but after passing the value by reference, and this method did modification on the value, even the same is reflecting here, and same value get changed, and the new value is 17. So this is how basically we deal with ref keyword. The thing that you need to keep in mind is ref. In order to call the ref, always value the values or variable that you are passing must be initialized. For example, if I will not initialize, I will close the application, and if I don't initialize the value, this variable, you will see we are started getting error. This is like, I will comment it out. I just wanted to say, I just wanted to explain in context of ref, and now you see it is saying use of unassigned local variable. So this variable must be initialized before calling to ref keyword. This is what you should keep in mind. So in ref, what you can do, basically the summary that we have about the ref is the values, the variable that you are passing must be initialized, first thing. Second thing, when you are calling a method by reference, it means you are passing two things. You are passing the values associated with that variable, as well as their address also, or in another word you can say their reference also you are passing. And the third thing is ki basically you can say ki data are bidirectional. What is the meaning of bidirectional? It means ki from here, what, for example, I will revert it to 12, and now whatever the value, this value has the value 12. Okay, so this 12 you are passing from main method to this method called change number, and the same value you are able to access in the change number, means this value of first number is coming from main method and you are able to utilize it. So this is one way. And now this method is again putting some modification, and after having modification, again same data is reflecting in the caller method here. So this is called another way, that's why we say it bidirectional. Means here in our example, we are passing the value from main to change number, and from change number to main. So this kind of flow is called bidirectional flow. Means with ref keyword, values will pass in both direction. So these three things you should keep in mind. Now let's go and check about the out keyword. Again, in order to deal with out, the first and foremost thing that you should keep in mind is out keyword should be used when we have a method which returns multiple values. How we can deal with that? Basically, you just need to replace this ref with out. As I already explained, basically ref and out both are used to pass by reference. Okay, so there are certain differences between them, we will see that. So here also you have to make it out. When you are saying out, what exactly happens? Okay, so now when it is out, guys, it means you are only allowed to pass by reference. You will not be able to pass by value. What does it mean? It means whatever the value of this variable that you are passing, for example 12, so you won't be able to pass 12 here. You can say, sir, we are able to pass. You go and check. Inside this, we are getting the error. It says use of unassigned out parameter, means कि this value has no value. How come you are using this one? So in out keyword, you must be initializing the values within the method first, then only you will be able to go further. So you see, as soon as I am reinitializing, then only I am able to work. So guys, you whenever you pass without, it means you are just passing the address. You are not passing the value. You won't be able to pass. And in the calling method, basically values will be reinitialized. Values will be initialized. Then only you will be able to perform the further action. So here also, like if you remember in a ref keyword, we were forced to initialize this value, but in out, you are not required to initialize. Choice is in your hand. If you want, you can initialize, but even though if you don't want, you can't, because here anyway we won't be able to pass the value, so it is not mandatory to pass from here. You can leave it as it is. Anyway, you will be passing only the reference. That's why assigning the value is optional in case of out keyword, but is mandatory in case of ref keyword, because in ref we pass both values as well as reference, but in out we just pass the reference. So here anyway references are getting passed, and inside this method we are initializing. The other definition, other things that you saw in ref will remain same, like whatever the change that you are passing, since this first num variable is also pointing to same memory address, so whatever the change will happen from here, same thing will start reflecting in the main method as well. So still the value will remain like 15 plus 5, this time it will be 20. How? Let's go ahead quickly and run it and check how it works. So here we have the value and we have not initialized it. Then we are passing with value. So if I hover, you see by default the int value is taken as 0, but this value you won't be able to call. Here we are forced to initialize the value. So value of first num will be 15, that you can see when I hover, and now we are adding 5 in that. So values will be 20 and will be located at the same address. So this way the new value of value will be 20. If I hover, you can see 20s. The thing that you should keep in mind is here in out keyword the flow of data is not bidirectional. What is the meaning of bidirectional? It means we are not, in case of out keyword, we are not able to pass the value of variable from caller to callee. Means from main method we are not able to pass the data value, but whatever the changes that we have in this method, definitely we are able to receive from this method, like the final value of first num with the help of out keyword is 20, and you can see we are able to access this 20 in main method also. So this is one directional. Main to this method is not coming data, however the data from change number to main method is appearing. So that's why it is called one way. However, in ref keyword it was two way, because you were able to pass from main to change number and from change number to main. But in here out keyword only from change number to main data are coming. So this is what you should keep in mind about out keyword. That is, out keyword it's not mandatory to initialize, but it is mandatory to initialize in callee method. First thing. Second thing is it is unidirectional flow of data, means only one way data flow will take place. And the third thing about the out keyword is basically you are only passing the reference, you are not passing the value to the data. Okay, which means that's the second rule only that I told you. That's why we call is the flow of data takes place unidirectional. Okay, means one way data direction flow takes place. So that's it for out and ref keyword. Thank you.